Okay, come on, game. There we go. Alright, good. I think we're good. Spot's over. Okay. Audio looks good. Alright, folks. We're gonna do some power wash to round out the stream. We're doing a mining dump truck. But thank you for hanging out with us for that little bit of Animal Crossing. Like I said, once we get to the new stuff, we'll really dive into that. But some days of Animal Crossing are just not going to be a whole lot of stuff. Oh boy, that's a big old truck. Oh, that's probably part of the ladder too. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Bumper ladder. But hopefully you guys are having an okay day at the very least. Hopefully you're having a great day, but sometimes all we can ask for is an okay day. So far we got Chinese again. Nice. I have no idea what I am doing for dinner, but then again, most days I do not know what we're doing for dinner, so... Oh, last tub of cheese filling. Nice. Oh, cheesecake filling. Philadelphia makes cream cheese frosting, bought a pineapple mix. And hang on to. Nice. Very nice. Done so warm here. It is still pretty cold where I'm at, so stay warm for me at least. Up to 76, that's crazy. I think it's still in the 30s for me. Oh no, it looks like it's 49. Let me check. It's 50 and raining, according to what... So, it does seem like the temperature is getting up here as well. High today was 78. Wow. That's kind of crazy. Can we climb this ladder? We can. That. The low is 46, so we'll go from having AC set to cool to back 10. Yeah. I understand that. Weather here is kind of outrageous too, so. Probably the top of the stairs. Guess it's a ladder, but there we go. Bumper. The whole bumper? That is the whole bumper? Okay. But, yeah, weather's always so unpredictable. Which is hilarious, because it's like, we literally have people who devote their entire career to predicting the weather, but the longer... the longer we exist on this planet, the more unpredictable we make the weather, and it's just like, great. So, at this point, we have kind of a like haphazard warning system with meteorologists because the weather just decides to do whatever it wants because we've ruined the we've ruined the environment so much that it's just like, yeah, it could do this. It could also just not, you know. I'm gonna jump off of that. Let's say climb that ladder. Okay. It looks like this deck ladder panel is also a separate thing. Where am I missing this panel? Oh, I see. Okay. Alright. Grill surround. I know we can't get the whole tire from down here, but we might as well get like a large part of it, right? Ouch, there we go. Okay. It's funny, the meteorology thing reminded me. I was a part of, I don't remember what it was. It was like a science team or something, and, or they were trying to, I think it was it was my middle school. They were trying to assemble like a science team, 'cause we had never had a science team before, and, they were like, hey, we're just going to send a bunch of students to this to see if, like, we could just get something, some sort of award, right? To show that, like, we have a team. And I went with them to this, like, thing, whatever it was, this kind of, like, competition, right? And basically they were just like, okay, here's a bunch of, like, tests you can take to see, like, where you stand. And it was so funny because they sent me into this, like, meteorology, like, quiz, right? And of course I had never done anything with meteorology, right? Like, I'd never seen it before, never really interacted with it before. I was in, like, the 7th grade. And like the teacher literally was like, I don't expect, like, anything to come out of this. Just here's, like, 3 college level meteorology books. Just read up on them and just do your best, right? And it was just like, what? Obviously, I did not succeed at anything in that because I don't know how I was supposed to take 15 minutes and understand college level meteorology. But I'll always remember that because I'm just like, man, imagine if I had actually, like, somehow comprehended all that and, like, passed the test, right? That would have been insane. But yeah, I always remember that because I was just like, that is a lot. I don't even know if we really actually won anything because there were some people there that were like that actually had, like, prep time for things. So those were the ones that they focused on, but like they were just like, yeah, you go do this, and I'm like, okay, sure. Let me take my 15 minutes and books that I definitely can't understand. But well, it's funny because the thing I think about with that is, like, it's just a perfect, like, example of, like, kind of what's wrong, or kind of, but, like, a very small fraction of, like, what's wrong with, like, the education system, right? Is the idea that it's like, here's a book, go figure it out, right? It's just like, well, that's legitimately what happens with a lot of students, right? Is, like, the classes are so, like, jam-packed with students that, like, that's how they have to learn. They're basically being like, here's your homework, here's your syllabus, here's your book, go teach yourself, right? And because, you know, that's the only way that teachers can teach 50 students with no books. You know, that's just how people are learning nowadays. Like, it does such a disservice to the students. But that's all they got, and they wonder why, like, our education system is failing. Well, yeah, if you hand someone a book and tell them go teach yourself, what do you expect to happen, right? Though for some reason when you mentioned middle school, reminded me how in science class we put in pairs to dissect an owl pellet. So Disgusting pretty much did it for us. Thought it was cool. Oh yeah, owl pellets where they literally put everything and they just go bloop, and they just puke out these perfect spheres. Yeah. We had to dissect an owl pellet too, yeah. It's a very interesting thing. Separate memory of him bullying me in different class when he chased me into girls with a pencil. Why he bullied me? Because, yeah. Yeah, because you did something that he didn't want to do, and then, of course, it made him look weak, yeah. Fragile masculinity, yep. But, yeah, there's... That's crazy. That is crazy. It's sad to say, but it's also unsurprising. I'm sure there's plenty of people with stories like that, too. I never made the connection before. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how something that simple can cause that big of an effect, though, right? Like, just doing a task that someone doesn't want to do causes them to dislike you because of... It makes them feel just within themselves less than, so they have to prove that you are the problem when they could have just realized that the problem was in themselves with their own self-esteem. But, yeah. Again... Society has created an all-around sense of, like, loss of accountability. And it's kind of, it's kind of a problem. As we are seeing quite often nowadays. Because it's easier to externalize the problem than it is to deal with it. But yeah, there's a lot of people that have stories like that where someone is giving them trouble simply because, you know, they made them feel a certain way. Not because they did anything inherently wrong. Wow, this thing is, like, very, like, intricate under here. But there's also a lot of society that tells us that we, you know, have to deal with our problems in certain ways, and a lot of ways that masculinity is told to deal with their problems is through violence. So that's why you have a lot of those situations like that, where it's like, we could have solved this by talking, but instead society has told you to handle it with your fists. And thus the rooster comes to roost, or the crow comes to roost, or however that phrase goes. So updated OBS, forgot to back up your stuff, and now it's gone. Oh no! That sucks. Yeah, OBS is like that sometimes, unfortunately. As great as technology is, unfortunately, it's also a colossal pain in the butt. It does what you need it to do sometimes, and other times it just decides, nah, I'm good. Sorry to hear that, though. Hopefully it won't take you too long to get everything back up and running, though. There we go. So that should be... Okay. Where is the dirt? Ah, I was like, where's the dirt on this thing? Have to start from scratch, yeah. Front tire axle. Ah. I was like, what am I missing here? Missing the top of it. Oh, what am I stuck on? Oh, I'm on a ladder. I was like, what am I... There's definitely something... I need to get over there. I need to get up top of this. There we go. Okay. It's back. Ah, nice. Just closed it and relaunched. Yeah, sometimes that'll do it too. Sometimes the good old turning it on and back, turning it off and back on again will help you out. Immersion heater. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Then again, I don't do a bunch of mining, so I don't know if I'd ever run across that term naturally. Okay. Okay, all of that's done. Side panel. Okay. Ooh, that was weird. Says the side panel still has something. Ah, there it is. There we go. Okay, make sure we get all of this. Alrighty. Wheel arch. Go. Rail. The trim. Got that trim. Make sure we get the surround up here. And go to this side, do the same thing. Front of this box. Deck railing, I'm guessing we got. Okay. Let's see. Alright, grill surround. Alright, so let's take a look at what we've done. Okay, there's a headlight panel, there's a truck body pipe, wing mirror. Okay. panel. Truck body pipe. Oh, okay, I'm guessing it's the other mirror. No? It's set in this mirror. Oh, okay. There we go. Alright, anything else at a high percentage? Yes, that is at a high percentage, that is at a high percentage. Alrighty. But we've discovered that I think this is part of the wheel arch. The top part of it. Okay. Oh, there we go. And then it says... There we go. Okay, trying to see. The back of that probably. Nope, okay. That. And get those. Get out from under there. Okay, I think we got those. Let's check the other side. There we go. Get this thing. Let's do the tire now. Get these big old tires done. Alrighty. What's that? Real tire sport? Oh, I didn't even see that there. Where is our... So we're going to need that. Make sure we get to the top of this. Might as well get the top of the other one while we're at it. And then... Okay. Oh, yeah, a little bit more. Okay. Okay, that's that one done. Okay, just trying to get these like ropes and stuff over doing this. Okay, let's get the rest of this tire. Ugh. That tire is done. Okay. Let's actually get the inside of this wheel first. Okay. Let's go. This truck was a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be like a little like dirt, like carrier kind of truck. Not a full-on like giant, like mountain truck. You know, like carrying a whole mountain's bounty worth of truck. Got the exhaust pipes. I'm like, where the heck is the dirt on the exhaust pipes? Oh yeah, I need to get the top of the tire. Give me this. Okay. Figured out the streaming music thing. Oh, like the separating audio. Yeah, it's not difficult if you follow like tutorials and stuff. I just don't do it because I just worry that like if it ever gets messed up, I won't know, and then just the VOD's ruined, and yeah, I just don't mess with it. But that's just a personal preference for me. But I know a lot of people use it, so. But yeah, you have to put them on separate VOD channels so that the one channel doesn't get pushed out to the VOD, and then it plays on the stream, so that way when the VOD gets put to Twitch, Twitch won't see it, and yeah. You're doing a cozy game, try to play it without. Yeah, no, I get that. Like I said, I understand why people do it and how they do it and all that stuff. It's just for me personally, like, I just don't want to mess it up and then copyright strikes, and then I have to like be like, oops, I gotta do the thing, and then I have to readjust it, and it becomes like a whole ordeal. Like, I don't know. I just rather not go through the hassle, but yeah, I'm also doing YouTube and stuff, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not currently doing YouTube, but yeah, I do the. But yeah. There we go. Alright, so I think we've gotten everything underneath the truck. We just need to get the side of the truck, under the truck, and then the top of the truck. So, I think we need to get the top of the truck. I'm pretty sure we're going to need it. Yeah, okay. But yeah, no, I get it. A lot of people need some other form of, like, sound or something for when they do cozy games and stuff like that. And, like, you see it when people do, like, Valorant and those type of, like, repetitive games. No, like I said, I don't have anything against it. It's just for me personally. I don't want to have to deal with all the hassle of it, so. Alright. I need to run to the restroom. I will be right back. Thank you for the lurk. Sure you're going to go stream, so hopefully your stream goes well. There we go, got that back panel. Got that. We'll worry about the interior in just a second. Okay, I was saying, I think that whole thing is a. Okay. Oh, there's a little guy in there. Just noticed that. There we go. Turn that off. Open that? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, is there anything? Cross five body, deck wall, truck bed, horizontal strut, bed vertical strut. It's because we haven't got to the top of it. Oh, it's on the other side. All right, cool. There we go. Yeah. Okay, it seems like there's something below us that we missed. Okay, this thing. Oh, I see it. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. Okay. I think that's everything in here. Except the cab event. Alright, cab is complete. Get the trim first. Just because that's probably the easiest to knock out. Okay, that's the front trim. Side trim. Guess we do like this. Work on the side trim from the bottom and then work our way back up to the top. And go like this. Can get the cat from here. Anyways. Side trim, alright. And then now we can do the slope. Guess we should start up here. Okay, then we can do this. Right across the edge. Oh. Make sure we get those little spots, otherwise they can stop you from So in theory, once we get this slope, should be lower side and it says deck canopy trim. Ah, I see. Where is our... Okay. Alrighty, so we'll be finishing up with this. Might have time for one more. We've only been going for a few hours, so... Oh, I forgot my first rule. Always go along the edge first. That way so you don't get any weird things that stick you on the edge. Sometimes the edges will be like, oh yeah, there's a overlap right here that's causing you to not get the pop. So I always try to clean the edges first. Okay, side. We'll get it right here. Clean the edge. You know what? Let's do this one like this. Just sweep this back and forth. Don't even like move it. Just put it in a direction and. So weird to do it like this. I keep wanting to swing my mouse, but it's effective. Alright. Just take a little bit to drink. It's so funny how fast the percentage goes up when it's like a big area like this, because we were at 95 and then I swept and it's like 97, 98, 99. You know, this is the last thing we have to clean, so. Alright, get over here and I was like, what am I missing? I have a sneaky little edge here. There we go. Alright. Go to home base. That was a big truck, dude. That was a big old truck. Alright. What can we buy? We got 3,000. we get the... Yes, we can. Okay. I want to get this. We don't have enough for the extenders yet, but I wanted to... I want to try... This is the double nozzle. We'll have to try that out in our next thing. Where are we going? Funhouse. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, so this is the other... Oh, interesting. It's a circle? Oh, I don't like that at all. Yeah, I don't like how that cleans at all, dude. That is so weird. That would drive me bananas, dude. Look at that. It's just so imprecise. It's interesting, though. I'll give it that much. It's very interesting. Okay, can I use this to get up here? I can. Jesus Christ, this is so weird, dude. Maybe it's meant for, like, up-close cleaning? Yeah, I guess that's kind of effective. Like, for, like, when you're really close to something. But, like, Jesus. Yeah, let's go to the other side and get the back side of... Oh, it's probably the top of it. I think about it. I was like, why is this not popping? It's probably because we need to do this part of it. This thing is so weird, dude. Hey, welcome in, Doobie DJ. What a name. Hopefully you're doing well today. Let's see, what were you up to today?
You're crazy.
Let me give you a shout out. No, I shouted you out already, but didn't tell us what game you were playing. Playing Poke Rogue. I don't think I've ever heard of that game. To tell us what that's about. Welcome in, everybody.
You're crazy.
Hopefully you had a good time over there with Doobie DJ. You know who I am. I'm Mask Games. We play a variety of games here on the channel, mostly horror, mostly retro. Today we started out our day with Animal Crossing New Horizons. We have now officially got KK Slider coming to our town, and after we did our daily stuff, we are coming into PowerWash Simulator to just kind of end out the stream.
Crazy.
But thank you, everybody. Welcome in. Hex Crappy Player. What a name. Susie Mon. Oh, you brought friends. Well, thank you, Susie. I appreciate it. Leah and Laney. I'm hoping I'm saying that.
You're crazy.
Toxic Eclipse. Doobie DJ. Susie recommended you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Susie. Also, thank you, everybody else. It's a fan-made free game, Pokemon, but roguelike. Ooh, interesting. I'll have to check that out, then. There's a huge PW2 kick last month. Nice.
You're crazy.
Also, thank you for all the follows. We do anonymous follows here. If you'd like a personalized thank you, just say, hey, I followed in chat. I'll thank you personally. Otherwise, feel free to keep lurking. And also, welcome in Bing Bada Boom. What a name. What a name. But welcome in, everybody. Also on a big kick this month.
Crazy.
Nice, yeah. So we do that. We usually do this in the afternoons. We started from scratch. We've been working our way to to getting to the 3-star town, and we worked there. We made our way up there. Here, I'll go to the big screen so you can see me. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi. But welcome in. Hopefully you had a good time over there. Also, if you need raid run for any reason, get you some food, get you some water, or go take a nap. I completely understand. Just throw us a follow. Come back when you can. We love to have you. Also, when a raid comes in, I do like to ask, what's your favorite retro game? What's your favorite horror game? And if you have one, what's your favorite retro horror game? So feel free to drop that in the chat. Love to hear from you. Or feel free to keep lurking. Also... That's perfectly fine, too. We love our lurkers here. It's a very lurker-friendly chat. So I do appreciate all the follows, and thank you again for the raid. There, Doobie DJ. I do appreciate it. But you still haven't got KK Slider? Yeah. So you have to get to 8 people in your town. Then you have to get enough trees, enough flowers, and enough decorations, and then you get then you can get KK Slider show up, and that's when you get into the 2.0 stuff and the 3.0 stuff, which I haven't done either one of those before. I played back when the game released, and yeah, it's a lot of new stuff going to happen once KK Slider shows up. So we're going to be diving into a whole bunch of new content. But we do Animal Crossings in the afternoon. We actually do 2 streams a day, every day but Saturday. So Animal Crossings in the afternoon, and then in the evening. So we'll actually be back this evening with a horror game. We'll be playing something that I've been wanting to play for many years. It's actually not on any launcher, so that might be a hint if you know anything about horror games. So I'm going to keep it a secret till tonight, so if you want to see that, we'll be back tonight. So another reason to throw us a follow. But yeah, we do a horror and a retro game. We cycle those in the evenings. But in the afternoons, we've been doing Animal Crossing. So, but again, welcome in. Depends on how far back. I usually consider PS3 era and back. So PS3, Wii, Xbox 360. That era and previous, that's what I consider retro. It's essentially 2 generations back. So, favorite horror game is Mouthwashing. Nice. I haven't played that yet. Thinking of getting Mouthwash today. It's on sale. Retro has to be Cold Fear. Cold Fear, you say? There we go. Hello. You said PS1. Cold Fear is a PS2 game. Yes. We do play pretty much all of our retro games on the hardware it is released on. Let me just take one of the best games you ever played. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We sometimes autofill does that stuff. PS3 being retro breaks your soul. You want to know when PS3 came out? You ready for this, Susie? I'll give you the exact date. PS3 release date. November 11th, 2006. It is 2 decades old as of this year. At the end of this year, the PS3 will be 2 decades old. In Japan. Now, it didn't release until November 17th in North America. So 6 days later. But yeah, as of this year, the PS3 will be 2 decades old. So there you go. Now you get to feel old all over again. But anyways, again, thank you so much for the raid. We are going to jump back into some PowerWash Sim. We just started the Funhouse, so, but again, I do appreciate it. But again, if you need to take care of yourself, do what you need to do after stream care and stuff is very important. Get you some food, get you some water, all of that stuff. But yeah, we are gonna keep washing the Funhouse. We just started. Thank you for that. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now you get to feel extremely old with the rest of us. Doesn't help that your knee and back crap after you adjusted yourself in your chair. Do need some food, but be lurking. I will appreciate it. But yes, please do get you some food. Like I said, get you some food, get you some water, go take a nap, whatever you need to do. Please do take care of yourself. We love to have you. But yeah, we'll be here probably for a little bit longer. Well, probably long enough to do this Funhouse, which we just started. And then, yeah, and like I said, we'll also be back tonight. So if you want to see more content, we do stream twice a day, basically every day. The retro game we've been playing is Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So if you want to see some of that, another good reason to follow. A lot of content. I create a lot of content. Probably too much content. But I do appreciate it. Alright. Alrighty. So, let's see. Left to right, left to right, left to right. Okay, let's get this ramp here. Okay, that ramp wall, entry ramp wall is supposed to be... Oh, okay. I think all of this is counted as... No, that says platform wall. But yes, we do play a lot of retro on the channel. Our game rotation is usually a long-form game in the afternoons, a horror game, and a retro game in the evenings. In the evenings, we've been doing what I'm calling a Friend's Favorite Retro. We've been doing it since last year. I polled my friends, said, hey, what is your favorite PS2 or previous retro game? They gave us that, and we've been playing those since last year. And currently, we are working our way through Ocarina of Time, which I have played before. So it's not a first playthrough, but it is still a good playthrough. We're doing some of the stuff that maybe you haven't seen before. So, still a fun one. And like I said, but tonight we're going to be playing a horror game that you may have heard of a few years back, or may have not, but I'm going to keep it a secret until we actually get to it. Tonight. So it should be a good one. Should be a good one. Alright. So... Also, we are playing this off of the Game Pass. If you don't know, there is a like Xbox Game Pass. It is available on PC. The Game Pass is about, I think, $16 a month for the PC version. I know there's like a $30 a month version that everybody like screams about. There's actually a PC specific version. I actually recommend it. They give you all the new games every month, and you don't pay that much. $15 a month for the games that you get access to. Pretty valuable, honestly. Pretty good value. I do recommend checking that out if you're gaming on a budget. Lots of good games. Both PowerWashes are on there. I did not realize the first PowerWash is on there, which is why we're playing the second one, and I have not played the first one. So, if you're just tuning in with us and you're wondering if we've played the first one, we haven't. And that's on me, because I did not look up the first one before playing the second one. I just saw the second one. I was like, oh, they don't have the first one there. That's interesting. And then I just played the second one. So, because sometimes I am a dingus and don't do as much research as I should. But hey, we're human. We all make mistakes. Hopefully you all are having a good time today. Hopefully you had a good time over there with Doobie DJ. I need to make sure I throw you a follow as well. That Pokemon game actually sounds very interesting. Throw you a follow. There we go. Might check it out. Not a bad price. It's really not. Like, you get access, because of how much Microsoft owns, you get access to a lot of stuff, and they add a lot of stuff to it, and once it's on Game Pass, a lot of it just stays there. So there's a lot of really great content for essentially like $16-17 a month. And given how expensive games are getting nowadays, it's it's not a bad price. Now, yeah, of course, you don't own anything, and once your Game Pass, runs out or you stop it or whatever, you don't get to keep any of that. But technically, you don't keep anything you buy on Steam either. If you pay attention when you purchase a game on Steam, it says in the bottom right that you're buying a license to a game, not the game itself. So Steam has the right to revoke that license at any point. So, just as a heads up, if you want to own your games, there is a lovely site called GOG where you do get to keep the games you buy. I highly recommend checking them out, because they also have access to a lot of retro games. Old computer games, and also some not computer games like Silent Hill 4, the OG Resident Evil 1 through 3, Dino Crisis 1 and 2, so if you like survival horror, GOG.com. Not sponsored, by the way. I want to be, but I'm not. Great place for retro gaming, especially if you like those kinds of things. So, but they are working on a preservation initiative where they're trying to bring back as many old games as possible onto modern hardware. So I will always be a supporter of that, given how expensive a lot of retro games have gotten. Like I said, I am trying my best to find a way to work with them on that. I would love to be affiliated with GOG and their preservation initiative, but alas, I am not. Okay. This thing didn't pop, and I'm trying to figure out why. Oh, yeah, underneath. Sometimes I forget things have, like, underneath, and it catches us off. Okay. Tunnel decorative railing. There we go. All right. Grab the trim. Retro games are insanely priced. A Game Boy Color game go from 100. That's insane. You don't want to know about some of the games in my collection, Susie. You really don't. I don't know if you've been around when I've shown off some of those games, but some of those games, $100 is like a pittance compared to some like PS2 and PS1 horror games. It's like a drop in the bucket, man. It's insane. It is not getting retro stuff nowadays is not a good time. Yeah, there's quite a few very expensive games. I have there's a game in my collection. This one right here. If anybody knows about it, here, I'll go to the big screen so you can see me a little bit better. This game right here is the perfect storm of, like, things. Yeah. This game is basically worth my entire Silent Hill collection by itself. This game runs anywhere from $1,400 to $1,600 right now. Sometimes it can even run higher than that. It's insane. I did not pay anywhere near that much, by the way. In case someone's wondering if I'm throwing around $1,600 for a video game, I am not. I am not. Yeah. Yeah. Retro gaming is insane. But yeah, that game literally costs as much as my entire Silent Hill collection. I have a physical copy of basically every Silent Hill game. And that one game costs as much as all of them combined. It's insane. So it's a solid game. It's just no game is worth $1,600, dude. Like, none of them. Not a single one on this planet. But, by the way, we've also done a playthrough of that game, if you're wondering. If you want to see that playthrough, all of our playthroughs are available on our YouTube. We usually stream to YouTube, but whenever we do our kind of like, we're finished with the morning game kind of thing, I cut off our YouTube stream and it just becomes just a Twitch stream. But the link to YouTube should be at the top of chat. If for some reason it's not there, you could just go down in our panels and stuff, and you should find a link to YouTube there. It's there. Nice. Well, sometimes people close it out, or sometimes it disappears. Twitch is a very finicky website, it turns out. So I just make sure people know. Also, if you Google us, I'm basically Mask of Games everywhere. You can find me pretty much everywhere if you look up Mask of Games. So says that the lamp post is... Oh, it's probably the top of it now that I think about it. I'm like, why is it not popping? Sometimes they hide dirt in weird places and you have to... There we go. But yes, we've done... Basically, if it is a big retro horror series, we have probably played it. We've done all of the good endings for basically every Silent Hill game, including Silent Hill F. So if you want to see that. We have done all of the numbered Silent Hills, or not Silent Hills, but Resident Evils except 0. You get stuck on the first PowerWash sim for hours, really? Like I said, I haven't played the first one. This is the second one, so I can't speak to that one, but yeah. We've done the Resident Evils, we've done the remakes and the originals. So if you want to see that. That was actually what we did for charity last year. So I've got to figure out what we're going to be doing for charity this year. So I'll have to come up with something fun for charity this year. I think I have an idea. Ironically, the idea I have might be less games than Resident Evil, but somehow take more time. But we'll see. I have a few ideas. There's a few series we can do potentially, but because we got some charities coming up. Okay. Did I get that? Yeah. Okay. So did I get that floor over there? I did. But yeah, like I said, we do a lot of retro gaming, and once we get done with Friends Favorite Retro, we're going to be doing some even more retro gaming. I think we'll be doing a series. Also, after we get done with the game that we're doing tonight, which might be a stream or two, we're going to be doing a horror retro game series. So yeah, lots of stuff. I am constantly doing things. I might be going insane. I don't know. If I am, you can join me on my journey. Okay. But yeah, we've got all sorts of cool things this year. I'm working with some members of my stream team, of which Susie is a part of, so definitely. And now that we've had a little bit of a cooldown, I do want to also give Susie, if you're not already following them, a shout out. Another member of the Crypt stream team, the stream team I am a part of. Go give Susie a follow if you haven't already. I'm working with members of my stream team. We're doing what we're calling a backlog challenge, where we're trying to play games from our backlog, because a lot of us have video games that we just haven't played yet, because there are too many video games on this planet. Which is a good problem to have, honestly, but there's a lot of stuff to play and not enough time to play it, which is why I stream so gosh darn much. Because I have so many games I got to get through, and it turns out when a game has 100 hours, you got to play through a bunch of 100-hour games. Too many good sales, yeah. My problem is it's less like new games and more just like, oh, this game has 100 hours, this game has 100 hours, this game has 50 hours, and it's like, how am I supposed to play like 17 100-hour games, but also everything else? So, I am in a circle of hell of playing games far too long with not enough time to play them. So that is my plight. That is my issue. But yeah, also next month we've got Fatal Frame 2 Remake, and if you've not seen Fatal Frame, I highly recommend that series. It is one of, in my opinion, one of the most overlooked survival horror game series. Everybody talks about the Silent Hills and the Resident Evils, but not enough people talk about the Fatal Frame. I really, really do like the Fatal Frame games. And there's 5 of them, in fact. And most people have not played them. even though 4 and 5 are on Steam. Now, eventually, I mean, we're getting a remake of 2. Hopefully, we'll eventually get a remake of 1 and 3, or even ports. I would love ports of 1 and 3. Actually, I love ports of all 1 through 3, but those games are on the PS2, so some people do not have access to those, which is understandable. Fatal Frame 3 is actually my favorite, but most people's favorite is 2. But they're all pretty good. I will say Fatal Frame 1, though, pretty unforgiving game. It is a pretty ruthless game. But if you can get through it, it's pretty solid. But I do think, hopefully, with the remake of 2 coming in, hopefully a lot more people will get into the series, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see a new one sometime soon. Although, speaking of new things, it does sound like Konami is going to be ramping up the amount of Silent Hill we're going to be seeing. Hopefully that turns out to be a good thing and not a bad thing. Because unfortunately, when a company says, "Oh yeah, we're going to be making 17 new versions of a game," it ends up being a cash grab and not a fun thing. But we will see. We will see. I'm hopeful. I know there's a lot of other people that are hopeful, but unfortunately, it also is Konami, which, if you don't know, this is the same company that literally held one of their developers hostage so he couldn't go to an award ceremony. So, they don't have the best track record as being a good company. You just want PT back and potential be a great game? Just play Death Stranding. Like, in all honesty, I feel like Death Stranding is just kind of an evolution of what PT was. It's got enough horror in it to kind of give you what you would want from that. It's not like in-your-face horror. It's funny you mentioned it because it's on backlog. Now, I will warn you, that is like a 50-hour game. That game is quite long. So, be prepared. Also, there's 2 of them. So, about the second one without playing the first one. My thing is I really liked the first one. Like, at first it's like a kind of a joke about what the game is, but once you get into it, like, it's a really good game. The problem is it's also a very long game. And if you're not ready to, like, devote the time to that kind of, like, length and narrative, it's gonna be a lot, right? And that I think is like the fatal flaw with Death Stranding is just it's a long story. It's a good story. It's just a long story. So, but yeah, I knew I had a long, like, one long game on my backlog, so I decided to do that one first, which was Amori. The game was like, it's not like super long, it's only 25 hours long, or at least our playthrough only took us 25 hours. But it was pretty good. I will say, I posted a video on YouTube about it. The Amoria community really almost ruined our playthrough, though. Because they just would not leave me alone about, like, telling me what everything was and how things are used and asking me what ending I'm gonna get. And, like, it was pretty bad. Like, I said in our review, like, in my 5 years of streaming, it's probably the worst I've had of people just coming in and, like, backseating and trying to spoil stuff. And it's just like, man, you would think for a game like that it wouldn't be that bad. But I did state, though, like, I don't think it came from, like, a place of maliciousness. I think it came from, like, a place of, like, they genuinely wanted to, like, help. But it just, you know, when you want to help and people don't want the help and you keep talking, obviously you're causing a problem. But ooh, I do not want to be on these spinners. That will make people sick. But yeah, it was pretty bad near the end there, but we got through it. I think it was a really, really good experience. But again, it's a long experience, or longer experience than, because a lot of horror is kind of bite-sized, right? It's like 2 to 6 hours. But Amori is a 25-hour, maybe even plus experience depending on your play style. So it's one of those I definitely understand as like a, you know what, maybe we put that, later on. But I knew if I didn't do that first, I would probably end up pushing it much further. As you the FNAF community feels like if you don't say mad if you don't do something there, but yeah. Yeah, it's... Well, what I think it is I think it's because it's a younger audience, right? I think there's a lot of, like, younger people in those audiences. Because I think that's what I realized with Amori. Is Amori having, like, that hand-drawn style, I think brings in a lot of, like, younger people. And they don't understand that that's not how you act online or around people in general, right? So they just, that's how they act. And then they get upset when someone, like, says, hey, you can't do that. Now, don't get me wrong, there are grown adults that act like that too. Like, it's not just a younger audience thing. That is not a slight at younger audiences. Believe me, I was a college professor for 3 years. There are adults that act like children all the time. Do not get me wrong. I have seen it with my own eyes. But, like, yeah. But I think younger audiences, like I said, for Amori, like I said, I don't think they were trying to be mean or malicious or anything. I think they legitimately wanted to help. It unfortunately came across as spoilers and backseating, and for a game like that, I really didn't want that kind of stuff. So, but overall, I still would recommend the experience. It's just also, I will say, most of that came from YouTube, so if you're not streaming to YouTube, you might not even run into that issue, to be honest. I think like 99% of it, or maybe all of it, came from YouTube. So it might not even be an issue for everyone who streams it. It might just be for people who stream to YouTube. Which, that's helpful knowledge to have. But yeah, I haven't actually sat down and, like, made a like written backlog of what I need to get through. There's just a lot of games that I'm like, I really want to do these, and I'm gonna put them like in the list of things that I want to do. But because like if I made like an actual backlog, it would be like hundreds of games long. There's no way I'd complete my backlog this year. It would take me like years to complete my backlog. It's funny because like the backlog challenge that like I'm a part of, I was actually just joining it to help other people through their backlog. And then I kind of got like wrapped up in it to like, you know, it's like, you know what, I'll do some of the games from my backlog. Why not, right? Like let's knock a few of these out. Because like to give you an idea, like some of the games on my backlog is like the entire Castlevania series, which is like 15 games long, right? Like that's actually I think it's close. It might be even closer to 20. Like it's a lot of games, right? That's a lot of games. Maybe too many games. So, but I wanted to be helpful to people that like wanted to get through, you know, the stuff that they were working on. So I wanted to join up with the challenge, but and there's some stuff that I'm like, you know, I'll just do some like shorter stuff for the backlog because something tells me trying to do all the Mega Mans and all the Castlevanias and all that stuff, like I could do that if I like really focused on it, but that would be like the entire year. Because like there's people that are like they're like playing like every Super Nintendo game, and it's like, yeah, that'll take you like 4 years to do. Like you could do it, absolutely can. It's just you got to be prepared to know that like that's not going to be something you can do in a year. You know, in most cases, for most people at least. We're really bad at a starting game, not finishing them like a Mori. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why it's nice to have, like, if you have someone who can, like, ask you about it, like, hey, how's this thing going? You'd be like, oh, I stopped playing it. Like, if they could be like, hey, do you want me to, like, remind you of this thing so you can continue playing it? Like I said, when I was talking to them last year, talking to the person who set it up last year, I was like, yeah, me and my friends do that sometimes where we call them accountability buddies. And it's basically just that, like, hey, are you doing that thing you said you're going to do? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like it's not a foolproof thing, mind you, but it does help from time to time, being like, okay, yeah, I should get back to that thing, you know, because sometimes we're like, we want to do it, but without some sort of like incentive, like someone actually like mentioning it, we don't really push ourselves to do it, especially when we know it's going to be like a long endeavor. So. But I think what also, like, for content creation, I think what also makes it really hard for a lot of people is the, like, there's a lot of, like, trendy things and cool things that are, like, constantly coming out, right? So, like, it's just like, oh, this game came out yesterday, and it's like, oh, I really want to play that. It looks really fun. You know, and then, like, 2 weeks later, oh, this really cool thing came out yesterday. And it's just like, you know, you're constantly getting inundated with all of this, like, really cool stuff that you want to play because it looks cool and it's like something that you want to play. You know, and it's just like, well, I'm still working on this thing from like 2 weeks ago, you know, but I want to play the new thing. You know, but so you have to fight that, or you have to resist that urge to buy the next new thing that's going to last, you know, 2 days, and the next new thing that might last another week. And Thankfully, I don't really have that problem. I tend to play things to completion because I know if I don't complete it, I basically don't ever go back to it. So my brain's like, you do this now or you're not doing it. So... I'm pretty good about completing things. Now, if something like breaks on me and I have to like wait for it to be fixed, then that's really like the only exception to it. But what's that say? Slide door? Okay, apparently there's a door or something up there. But yeah, it's also, you know, sometimes there's external pressures too, right? Like there's like, oh, your friends are playing this game. Do you want to play with us? And it's like, of course I want to play with my friends. Why would I not want to play with my friends? Right? It's just like, well, because you have these 17 games you need to play. It's like, yeah, but those games will still be there in, I don't know, 4 months. And then like 4 months later, you're like, what was I doing? I don't know. Let's play something new, you know? So, all right. But yeah, life is full of choices. My only advice with that stuff is do what makes you happy. Like if you have like 17 games that you've never finished but you're having fun, that's really all that matters. Like it's better to have fun in 17 games that you haven't finished than it is to have 17 games that are finished but not having fun. Like that's why I don't get too wrapped up in that stuff. If I have like 700 games in my backlog but I'm playing games that I'm enjoying, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Because, you know, if something starts to feel unfun, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. Like, obviously, there's unfun things we have to do, like a job. But when it comes to, like, content creation and stuff like that, you should be having fun. Right? You shouldn't be forcing yourself to finish games because, you know, oh, I've got to do this. Right? You should want to finish the games, but if you don't want to, then don't. Move on to the next thing. Now sometimes people are like, well, that's bad content, and you know there might be something to that discussion. But if your community is like, nah, we know you don't finish games, that's fine with us. We're just here for you. Then just run with that, man. Like, just do what makes you and your community happy, but mainly you, because as long as you're happy, your community should be happy. Right, like that's what community is about, right? Is if you're making content that makes you happy, your community should be happy with the content that you're making. So, and if they're not, then I don't think that community's there for you. In all honesty. By the way, I don't know if you can hear it. They make noise when you spray them. But yeah, it is a nice little detail. But I'll be honest, that lesson, the like do what makes you happy thing, is something that I actually learned the hard way. I've talked about it before. I give a lot of advice on my channel, but it's all advice that I take myself. I don't give any advice that I have not taken myself or I have not learned myself. the do what makes you happy thing I learned the hard way, because my first year of full-time streaming, I streamed every day for at least an hour. That was my goal. I wanted to stream every day for at least an hour, and I did for a year and a half. And by the end of that year and a half, it was miserable. I'll be completely honest. It was miserable. The last 6 months of that, we saw no growth. I was so focused on numbers and growing, and we were seeing no growth. And I was playing things to grow. I was finishing games that I didn't like. I was playing stuff that I really wasn't super interested in. Like all of the bad habits that I have recently just discussed, right? And I ended up having to take what was supposed to be a month off because I was moving, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to end the streak here at a year and a half of streaming every day because I got to move, right? I'm moving houses. So I'll come back in a month and we'll get back into things, right? Well, due to some medical stuff, and honestly, burnout, I didn't come back for 6 months. I literally 1 month turned into 6 months. And, when I came back, the one thing I changed with my personal goals was I'm going to do what I enjoy, right? Which is horror stuff and retro stuff, right? And that completely changed everything. I met amazing people that I absolutely love in our community. Like there's so many great people that are doing so many great things as a part of our community, as a part of the crypt community. Like there's just really amazing people we've met over the past, few years since I've been back. Like I have enjoyed so many more games. And don't get me wrong, we've also played some stuff that I really haven't enjoyed. I'll be honest. Not everything's a winner. But there's been a lot more things that we've enjoyed. We've even gone back to some of the games that I didn't enjoy, and I've enjoyed them more because we have a different perspective. But doing what I enjoy and not worrying about the numbers, not worrying about, what the trends are, where subs are going to come from, and all of that stuff was the best thing for my channel, because I've over doubled my following in basically the same amount of time. I've found great communities. I've found great people. Here's the door. Okay. Like, it's been the best thing. So when I tell you, like, do what you enjoy, I legitimately mean it. Like, because your community will be able to tell. And that's what will bring people to you, is that enjoyment. Not the, like, trend following. Now, sometimes trend following can bring people to you, but I guarantee you, when you burn out because of the trend following, you'll lose a lot of those people. So you'll end up taking so many steps back because of that. Because I lost a lot of people. In fact, when I came back, basically nobody that I had garnered a follow with came back with me when I came back. So I was essentially starting off at square one. I still had the, like, follow count, essentially, with some people missing. But, like, my chat basically was non-existent. So again, I don't give any advice that I haven't taken myself, and believe me, I've learned a lot of things the hard way when it comes to content creation. So I repeat, do what makes you happy, and if you're enjoying yourself, I guarantee you your community will be enjoying themselves too. So if that is playing a game from 1998, do that. If it is playing some crazy game that released yesterday about, a supermarket that's trying to kill you, play that, right? Do whatever it is that makes you happy, but just make sure that your enjoyment is a part of that equation. Because that'll be the best thing for you and your content. So, sorry. Got on a little rant there, but I don't know, man. I want people to succeed. That is my thing with Twitch, is I want people to succeed. And there's so many great people doing so many great things, and a lot of them end up stumbling and falling out of love with streaming because of things like that, right? Because of this, they feel like they have to do these certain things, and like it's so disheartening to see so many great people like fall out of love with this thing that at one time they absolutely adored. Because like they posted a thing, I think a couple years back, about how within like the first like 2 or 3 years of streaming, like 80% of people stop streaming, right? And like there's just no real like retention when it comes to that. And I think a lot of that is because of that, like that chasing of the trends and doing what you think you're supposed to do, right? And it's just it's disheartening to me, because again, I think there's so many amazing people out there, and and sometimes like life gets in the way, right? Like sometimes it has nothing to do with streaming itself. Sometimes it's like you grow older, you can't do the thing anymore, your job takes over, family, whatever. Like sometimes it has nothing to do with streaming itself, but sometimes it is streaming. Sometimes it's how you're streaming, what you're streaming, when you're streaming. But yeah. I don't know. I realized, I guess, a long time ago when I mainly when I came back, that I have a different mentality when it comes to like streaming and other people. A lot of people think that like streaming is cutthroat. You have to survival of the fittest, and I'm like, why does it have to be that way? Who told you that it had to be that way, right? Because like the things that I have found is the people who last the longest are the people with community. Right? The people who make friends and lasting connections, those are the people that tend to last the longest on Twitch, in my opinion. Because when things get tough, they have people they can lean on, right? Those to me, those are the people that last on Twitch. Not the ones that are throwing their friends under the bus for a couple follows and a couple subs. Like, and I say a couple as if it's not like hundreds, but like you get my meaning. At least I hope you do. So, community is important. But I mean, also, you don't have to take take any of my advice, right? I'm just some stranger on the internet. Obviously, do your own research when it comes to that stuff. Figure out what you like, what you don't like. Listen to the people that do have success stories and take what advice they say and learn from them and get inspired by them and stuff like that. I always say, take your inspiration from multiple sources. It's just good habit to get through with information too. Make sure you're getting your information from more than one source. Make sure you're checking your sources as well. So if someone's telling you, hey, this is how it is, go check, right? Like go see if that is in fact how it is. Because sometimes that is not how it is, The world is a complicated and strange place sometimes. A lot of times, I guess. Alright. I think we're almost done with the inside of the funhouse. And then we'll be back outside to finish up the balcony, and then we'll be done with this this location. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so we got basically this area and then the outside, and then we'll be good to go for this location. Okay, just trying to get It's always interesting because, like, sometimes it feels like this way, this like sideways wave is the better way to clean, and then sometimes it feels like the up and down is a better way to clean. I can never really nail down like which time is which. I'm not I'm not versed in the ways of the power wash, I guess. I'm sure there's people that just blaze through this game. There's like shh, and everything's done. And it's just like, I wish. I will. Slow and steady wins the race, I guess. Oh, cool. Even the roof ones do sounds too. Also, I don't know what it is. I have this weird preference for like wanting to like stay in one spot and spray as much as possible versus like constantly like moving and stuff. I don't know if it's because I just feel like by not moving it might get easier for people to watch. I don't know. Because like if I'm like constantly moving and doing this, I feel like that's like just a great way to make people feel sick. So I don't know. Like for me, I'm like if I just like stay in one spot and then just do like this motion, at least I'm not like doing something weird. I don't know. Feel free to tell me in chat. Yeah, like I said, yeah, I guess that's it. It just feels smoother, right? Like just going like this. It's kind of like woo, you know. I don't know. But I know, like, technically I could just, like I could move, right? Like, I could do this. I could just walk, and then, like, the sprayer would do the work like that, right? I don't know. I just like the idea of, like, these kind of, like, movements to clean. It's a very strange phenomenon, I guess. Okay. Hell did I just hit? Alright, let's check our work. Balcony barrier pole. Bubble vestibule. Okay. Probably on this side. Okay, so that's good. Just making sure there's nothing on the inside. Rotator room. Okay, so that's something. The slide is not done. The running wheel. Okay. So says the slide is not done. Oh, I guess. I guess this is all part of the slide. Yeah. Exterior second floor wall. Let's go ahead and get... Like I said, I like doing the edges, because sometimes the edges will have overlap. And if they overlap, then it'll be like, oh yeah, that's two different walls that have extra group on them. And it's just like, ugh. Which wall is causing the problem now? Okay. Now we'll just do this. I didn't even think of this little tunnel here, so it's probably the problem. All right. Yeah, my thumb keeps having problems. Okay. Around the doorway. I was like, what are we missing? There we go. So this hallway is done. Okay, that sign is done, except that. Okay. Now it said there was something on the slide that wasn't finished. So this. Slide separator, slide light. Okay, there's the separator. Slide light. Okay. It's probably just because we didn't get it from, yeah, this angle. Okay. Okay. That hole. Oh. That one. Oh, there we go. That. Okay. There. Balcony rail. Exit post lamp. Okay. Exit platform. Anything that's like 80% or higher, I usually try to mark so that way we know. Where's the next one? Okay, it says this. Guessing it's underneath. Okay. Okay, I guess I need to get like down here to get it. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, I know it. I know what this needs. It needs us to get up here. Okay. There we go. Alright. so I think we've done everything except... Can we get... Yeah, I was like, can we get here? Oh, this is a sneaky spot. Wait, do we need to get... Okay, I was say, wait, do we need to get up there? And it's like, no. No. They're not going to do that to us. That would be rude. Super, super rude. Alright. Okay. Okay. Do that, and then we just get this part here. Can we get it outside of these confines? I think we can. We'll try to get it from up here, and then we'll... Probably would have been better to do this with like the scissor lift or something. Actually, hold on. Let's try this thing. Yeah, I still don't like this thing. This thing is so weird, dude. It like just does not clean how you want it to. Okay, I think all we have left is up there, so let's double check. Balcony, balcony, balcony. Entry, entry, okay. Sign, topper, light. Giant piano on the balcony, and sign. Okay, yep. So... Then this one. Is that it? Nope, this one. There we go. Okay, I guess it's over here. Oh, it's probably... There we go. Alright. One last check before we hop up on the balcony and finish this map. Okay. We are good. So, put this up here. I think for this we'll start at the ground level. Nothing like the discordant screams of a piano. So that should not that. Okay, giant piano is done. Did we get this trim? Yes, okay. All right. Gonna get to the lower part of the wall first, and then we'll work on the sign. Okay, windows done. Wall. Is this frame done? Guess so. No, still says the doorway's not done. Oh, it's probably because it's above it. I think about it. Ooh, get up here. Get up there. No? On the inside? There we go. Alright. Let's say happy. Happy house? Is it really what this place is called? Okay. Didn't think it'd be called a happy house. Alright. Job complete. Go to home base. Where's the next job? Ski center. Interesting. How are we doing? Okay. Looks like we only have, what, a fourth of the game left? I'm guessing once that fills up, we'll be done. So, but it still seems like we have not done anything in Sparkleton. Lubri City is pretty, like, open. We've got Sponge Valley. Only done one job in Washingham, so like still got a pretty good amount of areas. This is our first job in Mount Rushless Mountain National Park, so Still got a good bit of this game to go, but that, friends, is where we are going to call it a stream.